Hi guys, this is Alicia Childout, and today I'm going to be talking to you about why, in my opinion, Etsy kinda sucks. I sold on Etsy for about a year, and in that year I sold over 800 plus items. I know that's not a lot for a lot of people, but I just want to quickly talk about why I didn't really like the platform and why I left. Etsy as a marketplace is completely saturated. There are so many stores selling the exact same thing. And so that makes the ability to stand out really, really hard. And when you do find something that makes you different from, let's say, another store, I did find that a lot of big stores will see that your, like, let's say a specific product is selling, and then they will copy your idea and undercut you with the prices. And I understand that's how business works. Sometimes, you know, there's a lot of people selling the same things and everything like that, but it just doesn't seem fair, especially as, let's say, a smaller seller or somebody that has a smaller reach, for a big store to take your idea and then sell it for a much cheaper price, and you just can't compete with that. And that's one of the reasons why I just didn't like the platform. And that used to happen a lot. I saw it a lot to other sellers. It's happened to myself many times, and I understand, like, you know, people can get the same ideas, but when people copy it, like basically everything that you've done, and they put it on their store, it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and you just don't like it. And it used to happen a lot, and it just becomes annoying to a point where you're just like, how can I compete with them when they copy my items and undercut me? And, you know, it's just annoying, and, you know, it becomes really hard to stand out when people do stuff like that. I've got a ton of stories that I could tell about my year on Etsy and how people will steal your ideas, put it on their store. I could tell you a whole bunch of stories about stuff like that if you want to hear them, maybe in a later video. Another reason why I left Etsy is because there are so many fees. I understand that they're probably cheaper than other marketplaces, but they can really rack up. You can get like your shop setup fee, your payment fees, your listing fees, your postage fees, and it just becomes so expensive, especially if you're selling items that maybe aren't super high priced, or if you're selling loads of items quite quickly. Those fees can really add up and just make the whole process really, really expensive. And you have to put your prices up to adjust for those fees. And then you can't compete in the marketplace because there are people that are selling similar items to you for a cheaper price. I really don't understand how they do that, because you can't be making any profit whatsoever. But they will sell it for a cheaper price, and then people will buy that item because your items are sold, well, you're selling your items for a higher price just to adjust for the fees. Hope that makes sense. But, you know, it's just one of those things where it's just like, how can I compete and how can I make a profit if they keep adding more fees? And I think in my year selling on there, the fees went up like twice. Another reason why I left Etsy is because their customer service is really poor. They have helped me out in like one situation, and that was resolved very quickly, and I could go into that if you want to hear that story. But for more like difficult problems, a lot of the responses you could tell were just cut and paste, and this is the response and deal with it. But let's say, for instance, you become a star seller, you do get that option of speaking through like a chat, which, you know, can be beneficial, but then they don't do anything. They'll talk to you and they say, yes, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to help you, and then nothing changes. To me, that's just really poor customer service. They're just kind of brushing you off, or just like saying, yes, we'll do this. Like the chat is just, it's just not very good. If you have different experiences, then that's fine. But in my opinion, there was no real help if you have a problem. Another reason why I left the platform is because it feels as if they have one rule for big stores and another rule for smaller stores, and it just doesn't seem fair. I could go into, you know, the details of it and the details of what happens you know, in smaller stores and bigger stores, and, you know, things that I've experienced and I've witnessed from other Etsy sellers. But yeah, if you're gonna be consistent, be consistent. Like, if you're gonna say this is the rule, you can't do this, or this is the rule, you can do this, but you can't do that, it has to be consistent across the board. You can't just target the smaller stores because the bigger stores are bringing in you more profit and revenue and sales. It shouldn't be like that. And that's just one of the reasons why I left the platform, because of those biases that you witness on a daily basis. And those are just some of the reasons why I left Etsy. I have a ton more that I could get into, but those were the main ones. I have a ton of stories that I could tell you about my time on Etsy, and like advice that I could give to other sellers who want to sell on Etsy, but those are just some of the reasons why I didn't like Etsy as a platform. Let me know if you agree or disagree, or like tell me about your time on Etsy and I'll respond to you, or maybe even make a video about it. If you want me to make a part 2 or another reason why I don't like Etsy as a platform and why I took myself off the marketplace, then I will. Just let me know in the comments and I will do that as soon as possible. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you on the next one. What the hell am I talking about?